Follow us to be the first to learn the latest news about the royal family. King Charles III's health is worsening. What does this mean for the monarchy and Prince William's future? Meanwhile, a giant dinosaur named Chuck storms into London, challenging the very idea of royalty. And in the world of architecture, Norman Foster is a finalist for the Queen Elizabeth II Memorial. But will his past clashes with Charles ruin his chances? Monarchy, protests, and legendary architects. Everything you need to know, all in one video. In the past few hours, global media have reported alarming news about the health of King Charles III, marking a turning point in the history of the British monarchy. Reports that the monarch is in the terminal stage of his illness have not only evoked an emotional response from the public, but also raised questions about the future of the royal dynasty. According to multiple sources, including international media, Prince William and the Duchess of Catherine have already begun active preparations for a possible transition of power. Decisive steps toward an accelerated transformation indicate that the royal family is striving to prevent a governance crisis. Prince William's increasing presence near Buckingham Palace, as well as a rise in official engagements, reflect a readiness to swiftly adapt to new realities. It has been reported that King Charles III is battling colorectal cancer and that his treatment has already entered the palliative care stage. Frequent fainting spells and a general decline in health underscore the inevitability of change. On one hand, such news may fuel internal tensions within the palace and raise questions about the role of influential figures like Queen Camilla. Her active involvement in decision-making has sparked concerns that her influence could be challenged once Prince William ascends the throne. One of the most intriguing aspects remains the role of Prince Harry, who, despite distancing himself from official royal affairs, remains in the line of succession. Recent reports of private conversations between Charles III and Harry may suggest attempts to rebuild family ties. However, given Harry's ambiguous stance on royal duties, the question remains: what official role, if any, will he play in the accelerated transition of power? Prince William and Catherine's modern approach to public engagement through social media demonstrates their desire to make the monarchy more open and accessible to new generations. Their direct communication via Instagram and Twitter not only strengthens their public image, but also fosters a sense of trust among young Britons. This approach could be a key factor in ensuring the new leadership's popularity amid growing demands for transparency and reform. Analysts note that the impending change in leadership may usher in a new era not only for the United Kingdom, but also for international diplomacy. Prince William, with his focus on climate issues, mental health and social justice, along with the Duchess of Catherine, who actively advocates for children's rights and education, appears ready to transform the monarchy into a force for global initiatives. This shift in priorities promises to modernize long-standing traditions and integrate contemporary agendas into the royal family's activities. The situation surrounding King Charles III's health and the accelerated preparations for succession raise numerous questions and speculations. Even now, strategic maneuvers are underway to ensure the stability of state governance and preserve the monarchy's reputation amid rapid social changes. Regardless of the circumstances, the transition of power into the hands of Prince William and Catherine may become one of the most significant events in British royal history, paving the way for a more open, modern, and socially responsible monarchy. On the eve of Commonwealth Day celebrations in London, amid growing public debates about the role of hereditary power in modern society, a new figure emerges, a 15-foot dinosaur named Chuck the Rex. This gigantic argument against the monarchy, presented by the group Republic, is not only an element of street theatre, but also a symbolic marker of profound shifts in public consciousness. With irony and bold metaphor, Chuck the Rex embodies what protesters call the antiquated monarchy, a relic of the past that, in their view, no longer fits the realities of contemporary democratic society. The choice of a dinosaur, an extinct creature associated with obsolescence and oblivion, clearly signals the activists' stance. The monarchy, like dinosaurs, belongs in the Museum of History. A golden crown, skillfully incorporated into the image, turns the creature into a grotesque caricature of traditional symbols of power. The choice of Commonwealth Day carries a dual significance. On one hand, it is a traditional event linked to the royal family and the history of the British Empire. On the other, it serves as an opportunity to question the relevance of hereditary institutions of power in an era of globalization and democratic transformation. Recent news that several Commonwealth nations, such as Jamaica, the Bahamas, and others, are considering transitioning to a republican form of government further highlights the growing dissatisfaction with colonial legacies and the desire for political renewal. Graham Smith, head of the Republic campaign, stated that discontent with the monarchy is growing and interest in its activities is fading. Such statements reflect not only political criticism, but also socio-economic realities. Many citizens see the monarchy as a symbol not only of ancient traditions, but also of a mechanism through which resources are accumulated, often with the support of charities and state structures. In light of economic instability and increasing wealth inequality, the monarchy's symbolic expenditures and privileges are perceived as an unacceptable remnant of an outdated system. If the Republic protests gain momentum, they could increase public pressure on politicians to implement reforms. In a changing political landscape, traditional institutions may find themselves forced into dialogue with their critics, potentially leading to a gradual democratization of hereditary power structures. Conversely, traditionalists and monarchy supporters may respond with counter-protests or intensified propaganda efforts to reinforce the royal family's image as a symbol of stability and continuity. Such a reaction could further polarize society, exacerbating the conflict between progressive and conservative segments of the population. Even if immediate political changes do not follow, the use of striking imagery, such as Chuck the Rex, could mark a victory for the protest movement in shaping public discourse. In a world where visual communication is becoming increasingly important, the image of a dinosaur may prove more effective than traditional slogans and political speeches. The 15-foot dinosaur demonstration is not merely an eccentric performance, but a symbolic battle between tradition and modernization. In a time when society is increasingly questioning justice, transparency, and governance efficiency, even such radical forms of protest may act as catalysts for change. Whether the monarchy will adapt to new realities or remain a fossil, as Republic activists claim, remains to be seen. One thing is certain: profound changes are unfolding in the political landscape of the United Kingdom, and paradoxically, dinosaurs have become their symbol. In light of the news that Lord Norman Foster, the architect who was unafraid to criticise Prince Charles's interference in architectural projects, has been named a finalist for the design of a national memorial honouring the late Queen Elizabeth II, several interesting observations can be made about current trends in British architecture, culture, and the relationship between the monarchy and the professional community. Norman Foster is a figure synonymous with groundbreaking achievements in contemporary architecture. His works, such as the Gherkin in London, the Reichstag in Berlin, and the Great Court of the British Museum, have become symbols of innovation and bold design. However, It is his willingness to openly criticize Prince Charles's intervention in architectural projects, calling it an abuse of privileged position, that adds another layer to his image. This 2009 incident not only highlights professional disagreements, but also underscores architects' aspirations for democracy and transparency in urban planning. Today, Foster is once again in the spotlight, this time as a contender to design a memorial that will commemorate Queen Elizabeth II's greatness and dedication to service. Foster's selection, along with his team, as finalists for such a symbolic project, is no coincidence. The memorial, to be situated in the historically significant area near St. James's Park and the Mall, is envisioned as a meeting point between past and future eras. The presence of figures like British artist Yinka Shonibari, who explores cultural identity and post-colonial narratives, and environmental professor Nigel Dunnett, known for his Superbloom program, signals a desire to create not just a monument, but a multi-layered work of art that reflects the diversity of modern Britain. It can be assumed that Foster's selection, despite his past criticism of the royal establishment, serves as a symbol of change. Perhaps the project's current initiators seek to emphasize that even within deeply rooted traditions, transformation and renewal are possible. Notably, despite his past controversial remarks, Foster remains one of the most respected architects, capable of merging an innovative approach with an understanding of historical and cultural contexts. The inclusion of renowned studios such as Heatherwick Studio, Wilkinson Eyre, and others in the list of finalists promises intense competition of ideas and concepts. The final selection, to be announced this summer, is expected to be not just an architectural milestone, but also a reflection of the evolution of British culture. The final design, set to be unveiled in 2026 to mark the centenary of the Queen's birth, should become a defining symbol of a new era, one in which the past and future find a common language through art and architecture. If you enjoy our videos, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the latest updates on the royal family with us.